All right, we're going to tackle one of life's biggest, most universal questions. Why do we die? And to help us out, we're going to turn to a brilliant 4th century thinker whose answer might just change how you see, well, everything.
It's a question every single one of us has probably asked at some point. And this early Christian philosopher, Gregory of Nyssa, he offered this profound and kind of unexpected answer that really turns our whole understanding of mortality completely on its head.
So, to get to the cure for death, Gregory says, hold on. First, we have to understand what caused it in the first place. And for him, the cause is a kind of divine paradox, a problem that, you'll see, we actually created for ourselves.
He basically argues that being mortal, this state of dying, it isn't how we were originally designed. It's not natural to us. Instead, it's the direct result of a choice we made, a free movement of our will away from goodness.
And this is the crucial point. This is the hope in his whole argument. This mortal condition isn't a final verdict. Gregory was convinced that it could be reversed, that humanity could and would return to its original destiny, which was life, not death.
So how does he describe this mortal condition that we're all stuck in? Well, he uses this incredibly powerful metaphor that, I'm telling you, it really sticks with you.
He calls it wearing garments of skin, and he actually pulls this idea straight from the book of Genesis. The best way to think about it is like putting on a heavy, rough coat that isn't really part of you, but it covers up your original, true self underneath. And this is where you see the stark contrast, right? On one side, you have the blueprint for humanity, immortal, free, connected directly to the divine. And on the other side, well, that's our current reality, defined by pain, sickness, decay, and this feeling of being separated. These garments are what make us so vulnerable.
And that, of course, leads us straight into another massive philosophical question. If we were created good by a good God, where in the world did all the evil that causes so much suffering and death, where did it actually come from? Gregory is absolutely crystal clear on this point. He says a being that is perfectly good cannot, by definition, be the source of evil. To him, it's just a logical impossibility.
Okay, so if God isn't the source, then what is? Gregory's answer here is subtle, but honestly, it is a total game changer.
So get this, he argues that evil isn't a force, it's not a substance, it doesn't really have its own existence. It's more like a shadow, it's just the absence of light. Or think about it like this, cold isn't really a thing, it's just the absence of heat. Evil only comes into being when a free creature chooses to turn away from the good. It's a deficit, a void where goodness is supposed to be.
Okay, so if mortality and evil aren't our original design, but more like a deviation, then Gregory completely reframes the whole situation. This isn't about legal punishment or a judge and a criminal. No, he says, it's about public health. He sees our condition as an illness.
He uses this language all the time, comparing our spiritual and physical state to a sickness, a stain on the soul, a corruption of the body. And what does any sickness logically imply? Well, it implies the need for a physician and the need for a cure.
And this slide just illustrates his framework perfectly. The diagnosis is our mortal condition. The prognosis is that this sickness separates us from life itself, and therefore the prescription can't be punishment. It has to be a form of divine therapy to bring us all back to health.
So, the big question, what is this divine cure? How exactly does this cosmic therapy work? This is where we get to the absolute core of Gregory of Nyssa's entire way of thinking.
The cure has a very specific name, the mystery of the Incarnation. This is the radical belief that God, the very source of all life and goodness, actually became a human being.
The logic here is just beautifully simple and yet so profound. For our diseased human nature to be healed, the divine physician had to unite himself with it completely from the inside out. You could say he had to take on our sickness in order to administer the cure.
Think of it like a divine medicine being infused directly into our very nature. By uniting the divine with our humanity, the immortal, divine life doesn't just put a bandage on the sickness, it transforms our nature from within, providing the ultimate antidote to decay and death itself. And this leaves us with a final really provocative thought. For Gregory, this isn't just about some historical event that happened 2,000 years ago. It's about a radical, ongoing transformation. If our very nature is in the process of being healed and restored to its original immortal design, what does that mean for the future of what it means to be human?
What are the ultimate possibilities for a humanity that is finally cured of death itself?